Okay, so I'm just going to reiterate this because I just started my video. Kyle is making a pasture for his alpacas, and one side is next to a stream, and he has 200 feet of fencing he can use, and so he's going to fence it off like this. So that's 2 widths of fencing and 1 length of fencing, and together width times length will equal the area of his pasture. So we're going to combine the 2 equations together so that we have 1 equation or 1 function per area where we plug in the width and we get out the area. So to do that, what we need to do is solve this for L. So L will equal 200 minus 2W. Where did the 200 come from? 200 feet of fencing. And where did the 2W come from? 2 widths, right? And L is for our length. So the length can be found by taking the 200 feet of fencing and subtracting out the 2 widths, and whatever's left is the length. So now we're going to take that and plug it in here for L. So that gives us W times L, width times length for area. But instead of using L for length, we are going to replace that with 200 minus 2W. We've now got a new function, 200W minus 2W squared, which happens to be a quadratic. I'll write it in the order we're used to. You don't have to, you can leave it in the other order. But I just figured that would be helpful so that we know that this is A and this is B. Okay, so back on the previous problem, we interpreted the fact that the vertex was the maximum, right? This is a quadratic, the shape is a parabola, it's either going to have a minimum or it's going to have a maximum. And since this one's negative, it's upside down, it's going to have a maximum. And that maximum value is at the vertex. So you've got to understand in your head, anytime you have a quadratic problem like this that says find the maximum, that immediately means find the vertex. Okay, so how do we find the vertex? We're going to use our little formula, negative B over 2A. So B is 200. Now, if you left it in this order, don't forget that B is the linear term and coefficient, and A is the quadratic term coefficient. So just be really careful of that. So negative 200 divided by 2 times negative 2. So negative 200 divided by negative 4. What do we get? 50. Excellent. So now we can plug that in. The area of our parcel of land, and the width is 50, will be 200 times 50 minus 2 times 50 squared. Or another way we could do that is to actually find L now that we know 50. So 200 minus 2 times 50 is 200 minus 100, which means we have 100 left. So the length has to be 100. So then how do you find the area of a rectangle if the length is 100 and the width is 50? Let's see, we have 2 zeros on 100 and 1 0 on 50, so that's 3 zeros. So is that 50,000 square feet? Am I multiplying that correctly? Did anyone actually work through the problem this way? Because I did it a different way in my head. I'm just curious if our formula gives us that same answer. So 200 times 50, subtract 2 times 50 times. Oh, I have an extra 0 in there. You guys didn't correct me. I knew I was doing something wrong. Not 50,000. 5,000. That's a big difference. Oops. Funny thing how 1 0 can make a big difference. Okay, let's read through our questions. What are the dimensions of the pasture with the maximum area? So it would be length is 100 feet and width is 50 feet. So there's our dimensions. We just answered that question. needs 25 square feet of grazing area. How many alpaca can we have in our 5,000 square feet? So the last question we're going to answer by doing 5,000 divided by 25. So 200. I am not good at my zeros today. 200. So 200 alpaca. Whereas alpaca plural, oh, they do have a with an S on it. 200 alpacas he can keep in his pasture.